Good afternoon, everyone, and please be seated. It is my privilege to welcome you to the Class of 2025 White Coat Ceremony. My name is Dr. Guy Reed, and I serve as Dean of the College of Medicine here in Phoenix. I'd like to extend to all of you a warm welcome, and to our students, on behalf of the entire College of Medicine, Phoenix. You are outstanding professionals whose qualities, attributes, and character give us great hope for the future of medicine. I'd like to also welcome all of you, parents, loved ones, friends who have joined us today. Students, family, and guests, our medical school is blessed to have strong leaders, champions, some of whom are in the audience today. Due to seating constraints, other members of our college faculty, including staff, students, clinical partners, and alumni, are here in spirit only. They are lending their full support by joining this ceremony virtually. We are all committed to preparing you to take your place in the next generation of physicians. I'd like to start by acknowledging the admissions committee, who had the immense task of selecting 120 members of the class of 2025, by far the largest class of medical students from more than 6,000 applications. Let's give that admissions committee a big round of applause. I also want to introduce to you some of the college's senior leaders and my esteemed colleagues. Leaders, would you please stand when you hear your name and remain standing? I'd first like to introduce Dr. Douglas Campos-Occult, our keynote speaker. Dr. Campos-Occult is a professor at the University of Arizona College of Medicine, Phoenix, a former chair of family medicine. He is a graduate of the University of Arizona College of Medicine in Tucson. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you, Dr. Occult, to our ceremony. Allow me to introduce a younger member of our faculty, Dr. Chris Gettle. He is our alumni speaker. He's a clinical assistant professor in radiology at the college and an interventional faculty member in radiology at Banner University Medical Center, Phoenix. It is wonderful to have him here with us today representing one of our recent graduates, Dr. Occult. Dr. Gettle. Sorry. Next, I'd like to introduce some of the members of the platform party. Dr. Steve Lieberman, Senior Associate Dean of Academic Affairs. Dr. Paul Stanley, Associate Dean of Curricular Affairs and Program Evaluation. Dr. Susan Kaib, Career Advisor and former Associate Dean of Student Affairs. Francisco Lucio, JD, Associate Dean of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. Dr. Glenn Fogarty, Associate Deans of Admissions and Recruitment. You got to know Glenn, didn't you? And then, even though he can't join us today, Dr. Michael Dake, the Senior Vice President at UHS, is joining us via live stream, and he sends his very best wishes to all of you on this momentous day. And a very personal thank you to the President and CEO of District Medical Group, Dr. Koti Chandu. Dr. Chandu has been a valued partner for our college. District Medical Group has given each of our students the first textbook of their education in Phoenix, entitled The Patient History, an Evidence-Based Approach. This textbook is foundational in our curriculum and will be an excellent tool for them to be referenced throughout their education. We are so appreciative of these impactful contributions to the lives of our students. Thanks to our deans and to our special guests. So class of 2025, you're split here today, so I'll be looking back and forth at each of you. This is a joyous occasion, and it will hold a special place in your memory for years to come. The white coat ceremony signifies the beginning of a marathon journey of transformation from a talented, carefully selected student into an exceptionally skilled and compassionate physician. Wearing this coat marks your commitment to serving communities and individuals with a combination of wisdom and genuine compassion. Your training will not only prepare you to manage the science of medicine, but it will also prepare you to manage the social aspects of medicine. Our medical profession must do more to address structural inequities that exist in our society, to remove impediments that prevent everyone from achieving a life of health, free from the scourge of chronic illness. We must work together to address the structural inequities that exist in healthcare, in medicine, and in our society. The white coat represents our commitment to a profession that is built on science, inspired by humanism, and characterized by selflessness in the service of a greater good. When you put on your white coat today, you promise to uphold the noblest tenets of the medical profession. Every time I don my white coat, I'm reminded of my sacred responsibilities, the role that I have accepted, the commitments I have made toward becoming a better, more knowledgeable and compassionate physician in the service of my patients. Traditionally, medical students wear short white coats, signifying that they are learning to become physicians. Senior physicians wear a long white coat, denoting their experience and their knowledge. But today, in solidarity with you all, I wear a short white coat. Because, like you, I am committed to being a lifelong student of medicine and science. We're also dedicated to be with you every step of this journey of transformation. Every student and every physician today here is indebted to the emotional, the intellectual, psychological, and financial support from loved ones, friends, teachers, and mentors. We are enormously grateful to all of you for your unwavering support. Medical students, please join me in expressing appreciation to all of those who have supported you. You may rise. Okay. Everyone in this room has had such a profound effect on these students and will continue to have a profound effect as they develop their careers. So we appreciate everything that you have done and that you will do. It is important to remember that we are also here because of the support of the people of Arizona, the Arizona Board of Regents, as well as donors to our college, whose financial and institutional support has made it possible for you all to grow in your knowledge, your skills, and your professionalism. Our mission at the College of Medicine Phoenix is to inspire and train exemplary physicians, scientists, and leaders to optimize health and healthcare in Arizona and beyond. We have an extraordinary group of educators who have dedicated themselves to guiding all of you through this transformative journey. I know that attending medical school requires an enormous investment, and you all probably realize that as well. I am pleased to share that the White Coat Scholarship Program has far exceeded its stretch goal of $30,000 this year, and we were able to raise $40,000, which is really, really great because it goes to support each of the students here in this room. My wife, I, and Elizabeth, and a number of people here on the stage have also contributed because we believe in you and the impact that you will have on the future of health in this state and beyond. Again, I would like to extend special thanks to Dr. Koti Chandu and the District Medical Group, who were very generous in supporting our students with their gift of $15,000. So I thank you again. This is a wonderful reflection of how the Phoenix community values our students and the work being done by the college. And we acknowledge and thank every one of you who made gifts to our White Coat campaign. Please join us in thanking our donors for their continued support. The White Coat ceremony is an internationally practiced rite of passage for new medical students. It marks the beginning of a lifetime of professionalism and advocacy and service in the practice of medicine. In a few minutes, our students will recite the oath that they have put together. This oath articulates the principles and beliefs that will guide their path forward in service to others. 4 years from now, it'll only be 4 short years, you will again recite these words, this oath that you made today at commencement, reiterating your commitment to these principles as we enter the next phase of your career and practice as physicians. It's now my great honor to introduce Dr. Susan Kaib. Dr. Kaib?
So thank you, Dean Reed. I have the pleasure of getting to introduce our alumni speaker, Dr. Chris Gettle. Dr. Chris Gettle is from the class of 2012 here at the College of Medicine, Phoenix. He was actually in the first class that I taught in doctoring, so I have a special honor of introducing him. Dr. Gettle did his radiology residency at the University of Illinois in Chicago, and then went on and did a fellowship in interventional radiology at Stanford. He is now returned and is assistant professor of faculty at the Banner University Medical Center and a professor of radiology at our college. Dr. Gettle, I have a special place in my heart because you were one of the first class I taught, but also at the College of Medicine Phoenix, we train really compassionate physicians. And when I needed to pick an interventional radiologist for my daughter, I picked Dr. Gettle. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Gettle.
All right. Whew. Members of the class of 2025, greetings and congratulations. I have to say, I don't usually like public speaking, but it's kind of fun. It really is. I'm genuinely honored and excited to be here with you today, sharing in your celebration. I feel honored because I know a little bit about who you are and how hard you work to get here. You are, as Dean Reed said, 120 of the most qualified applicants to ever attend medical school in our state. You're also a very diverse group. I did a little research. We have chess players, skateboarders, sourdough bread lovers. We have jujitsu people, cat people, members of the armed forces, lots of UCLA Bruins, apparently, and also a person who's very, very good at the game Minesweeper. Love to see that. But above all, you are an extremely talented group. Smart, ambitious, altruistic. So safe to say that I really do feel tremendously honored. I'm excited to get to know all of you over the next 4 years. Hard to imagine it's been 13 years since I sat in your place for my own white coat ceremony on campus with the class of 2012. I did notice things have been upgraded a bit since then. So you've got that going for you. But again, really an exciting time to go to medical school at U of A Phoenix. So it was hard for me to condense my 4 years into a short speech, but what I'd like to share with you tonight is an excerpt from my own favorite speech of all time. This was a speech made by the late Jim Valvano at the ESPY Awards in 1993. At that time, Jim was being given the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage. And for those who haven't seen it, Jimmy V, as he's better known, was a college basketball coach. He tragically passed of metastatic cancer. And Jim died about a month after this award speech, but the impact that he had on the world, the sports world, but also on cancer research, lives on today. And it certainly lives on in my mind and every time I see a cancer patient. His speech still brings me to tears when I watch it. And that's ironic because one of the things he talks about in his speech is having your emotions move to tears every day. He thinks that's a really important part of being human. And I agree with him. But the part that I wanted to focus on today is just a small story in Jimmy V's speech. And that's a story he gives about a pep talk. It's a pep talk that he had to give early in his career, probably not so different than where I'm at in my career. But Jimmy V had taken his first coaching job in basketball at Rutgers University. I don't know if we have any Rutgers students in our class, but I didn't see any. So Jimmy V's coaching the Rutgers freshman basketball team. And he wants to give them an inspiring speech before the first game of the season. So like any good speaker, he borrows from his favorite speaker. He borrows from the great Vince Lombardi, who, as many of you might know, is the legendary football coach of the Green Bay Packers. So Jimmy V channels Vince Lombardi, and he's going to give this great speech to his team. And he's getting ready. It's game time. His players are 19. They're ready to play. They're in the locker room. It's about 3 minutes before game time, and still Jimmy V's not there. Players are looking around. Where's coach? Where's coach? He's not there. He busts in the door. Dramatic entrance. He's this Italian-American guy, really dramatic, passionate guy. Makes an entrance, and he says, "All eyes on me. Gentlemen, all eyes on me." And he says, "You'll be successful this season if you focus on 3 things: your family, your religion, and the Green Bay Packers." And I love that story, and I laugh every time I hear it, but it made me think. It made me think about what would be the 3 things that I would want to tell you as you embark on your first season of medical school. So my 3 things, and it's a little different than Jimmy V's 3 things, but my 3 things are your classmates, your family, and your health. So first, let me just talk about your classmates a little bit. I think safe to say we all have a lot of different friends and acquaintances in our lives when we come into medical school, high school, college, maybe a former job. So I didn't really know what to expect when I was in your shoes. I didn't know if I would form strong bonds with my classmates. I didn't know how that would feel. Turned out I did, and I think we all did. In fact, in my life, the people that I find myself wanting to be with when I'm not working or not with my own family are the people that I met on this campus. I can tell you with all sincerity, they're some of the best people I've ever been around. They've given me joy, and they've added so much richness to my life. So take advantage of this. Take advantage of the incredible group of classmates that you have here with you today. Lean on them when you're struggling, learn from each other, and laugh a lot. Enjoy these years because I guarantee you'll make great memories and lasting friendships. Second, your family. I noticed a lot of you talked about family on your lookbook pages. And I think family plays a unique role for someone entering the field of medicine. One of my favorite memories in my life was when I matched into the fellowship that I really wanted. I had worked really hard, was excited about it. And my wife came down in our apartment building in Chicago, and she met me that day when I had matched into this fellowship. And she met me in this dark, dirty parking garage in the bottom of our apartment building. And she gave me this hug. And this hug stuck with me. I can't get this hug out of my mind. It was the best hug I've ever gotten in my life. And I think that I enjoyed that moment so much because I knew that at that point she was walking with me. She was really there with me. And I think that's true of all of you, whether it's parents, grandparents, a spouse, a significant other, whoever it is in your life, your family will support you and make sacrifices for you. And as Dean Reed said, they probably already have. So if you have a chance later today, give your family a hug. Tell them thank you. And don't forget how much they're going to mean to you as you embark on this journey. Finally, I'd like to talk about your health. Keep your mind and body healthy. You'll need both to be a good doctor. Please do not overlook your mental health. This road can be bumpy for everyone at times, and there will be hard days for all of you. But learn to open up to the people you trust, whether it's your classmates, family, whoever it is. All of us who have been in medicine have seen friends and colleagues struggle with mental health issues, whether it's addiction or depression or whatever the case. If you need someone, reach out. There are people in this community and on this campus who really care about you, genuinely, and they want to help you. For your body, there's no better way I've found to manage stress than exercise. So stay in shape, eat right, set yourself up with good habits for your hopefully long and productive medical career. So, class of 2025, I wish you the best as you embark on your first season of medical school. The campus that you are joining, the campus you're becoming a part of, is unique and special. And I really believe that if you give your whole self to this experience that you're starting, the sky's the limit. But please don't forget your classmates, your family, your health, and the Green Bay Packers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gettle. Could you come back up here? Because we would really like to give you a plaque in commemoration of your really inspiring, thoughtful words for our students, and thank you so much. Okay, it is my distinct honor to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Doug Campos-Occult. Dr. Occult, would you come forward to give your words of wisdom about today's graduates and speech? Welcome.
So the first thing I said to Dr. Gettle as he sat down was, that's half of my speech. So I've been asked to accomplish certain goals here. And what I'm going to attempt to do is not repeat what several of the speakers have already said. I'm going to try to put things in focus, talk about a little bit of contemporary issues and the challenges I think they're going to pose for this class, and how confident I am that they're going to meet them. And then I'm going to expand a little bit on the class issue and how important I think the getting to know your classmates is. I'm going to attempt to do this within 15 minutes. I'm going to attempt to do it without offending anyone and being as non-controversial as possible. And those who know me, Paul Stanley can attest to this, that will be no small feat. All right, so we've already heard what medicine is. I couldn't agree more with the definition that Dr. Reed stated. It is a profession that allows us to combine the advances of science and the art of medicine to make the lives of people in society better. You can't ask for anything better than that for a life's work. You're entering medicine at a time, and I'm sure this is said every year, but this year I think it's really true, at a very momentous time. We've just gone through and are still in the middle of a serious pandemic. During this time, we've seen healthcare professionals, physicians, nurses, and others doing nothing short of heroic work in very trying circumstances, and at times at risk to themselves. And if that doesn't motivate you to be an excellent physician, I really don't know what will. The pictures of people working under these conditions for the past year has just been inspiring. And I would also like to pay tribute to our public health professionals. My career has been half public health, half medicine. And I know what public health professionals go through as well. And some of these professionals have had extremely trying circumstances because public health involves a lot of politics. These people have shown a lot of courage. They've weathered threats to themselves, threats to their family, and harassment, which simply should not be acceptable in a democratic society. Now, this pandemic has thrown light on some serious deficiencies that we have in healthcare in this country. It's shown that we have a totally unprepared and underfunded public health system that simply couldn't respond. We have a medical care system which benefits are not spread out equitably. We've had outcomes in communities that are starkly different based solely on race and income. And we have an international situation where there's the haves and the have-nots. And centuries from now, I think people will look back and say, how could they possibly let that happen? There's going to be a lot of examination of this past year. And there's going to be hopefully something learned from it. I hope to spend the last couple of years of my career participating in that and analyzing what went right, what went wrong, and why it went wrong. Now, if you look back over the past 100 years, we've had unprecedented advances made in medicine and science. If you look at the longevity, the average age of people in 1920 versus 2020, it's a stark difference. And if you look at what people die from in 1920 versus 2020, it's a stark difference. 2020, you're talking about things like tuberculosis as the #1 killer, pneumonias, mostly infectious diseases. 2020, we're talking chronic diseases and diseases of lifestyle. Now, much of this advance can be shared between medicine and public health. We've had advance. If you go back and look, what saved the most lives over the past 100 years? Clean water and sanitation. That's saved more lives than probably anything else. We've also had a number of other public health interventions that most people don't even know about. That, ask somebody in southern Florida right now what good, strong, well-enforced building codes mean. Now, in medicine, we've had many advances. We've had antibiotics, high technology. We're now understanding the human genome. These are rapid advances in technology that are going to make huge differences and make medical practice very, very different for you than it was for us. But a lot of these advances are happening so quickly that we're not taking the time to examine the moral and the ethical implications of them. I think the question should often be not can we do it, but should we do it? And frankly, our generation hasn't been very good at asking those kinds of questions, and I'm hoping that your generation will do better at it. Now, paradoxically, in spite of all of these advances, if you look at what's happening around the world, not just in the United States, but around the world, we're seeing a great deal of distrust and skepticism about expertise of all kinds. And that's going to present you a challenge as you enter the field of medicine. My public health students in the class I teach, I start out with two principles. I say, if you don't understand these two things, you shouldn't be in public health. Number one, the better you do, the less you're appreciated. Now just think about that for a minute. If we prevent things, who knows? Who sees the thing prevented? And quite frankly, that's the problem that we face right now in the controversy over many things such as vaccines. It's not that vaccines don't work. They work too well. People don't even see the diseases that used to kill people 100 years ago. Ask a parent who brought up a child in the 1950s how they felt about polio vaccine when it came out. The truth of the matter is that there are 20 or 30 infectious diseases that used to kill, maim, and disable hundreds of thousands of people per year. Take coronavirus and multiply it times each of those infections, and this was common occurrence. This does not happen anymore. You as physicians, when you train, will probably not see most of these infectious diseases that were common for physicians just a generation ago. But that's the problem. You don't see them. You don't see what's being prevented. The second thing I teach them is that for every scientifically proven public health intervention and medical intervention that saves lives and prevents disability, there will be an organized group opposed to it. Get used to it, because that is today's reality. And they're organized, and they've got tremendous tools at their advantage that they can use as well. Now, in spite of this skepticism, the one thing that does come out in every poll is that people trust their doctor. People trust their individual physician. Now, that's a very privileged position to be in. But I think it also places on us obligations. The first is to put our patients first. Let's learn to communicate with them, listen to them, do more listening, less talking. Don't let the medical record, the electronic medical record, interfere with your listening to your patient, and put them first. Realize that they come to you with a variety of social determinants that are probably affecting their health more than you're going to be able to. At one end of the spectrum, we're learning about genetics and the genetic basis of many disease. At the other end, we're now appreciating the social determinants of health. So at one end, we've got the genetic code. At the other end, we've got the zip code. And I would make the argument that the zip code that you live in is as important as the genetic code, and that we have an obligation, I think, to appreciate that. The third obligation is a tough one, which is stay competent. People are trusting you, so you should know what you're talking about. And that's not an easy feat. Medicine is a lifelong learning profession, This came as a big shock to me when I was in medical school. I thought, oh, okay, I'll go through medical school, residency, I'm good to go, you know? If you practice medicine after you finish residency without doing anything different from then on, you'll be competent for about 3 years, and then you're going to be behind. You have to learn how to continue to learn. And learning how to learn is important. We're going to teach you, hopefully, some skills. How to open-mindedly assess scientific evidence, find what works, what doesn't, be able to figure out the wheat from the chaff when it comes to all the stuff that's being published. Now, so those are the obligations that I wanted to mention. Now I want to give some advice. Now, some of this has already been given, so I can kind of go through and give a little bit more time for some personal anecdotes, which I didn't think I was going to have time for. Totally take care of yourself. Your physical, mental, and spiritual health is really important. Don't ignore it. Take care of your family and friends and your relationships. Nourish the relationships that are important to you. These people are going to be sacrificing for you, and you're not always going to appreciate it. So let me give you an anecdote. When I was training, and I know you're going to say, okay, one of these back in the day things, and it's true, we were on call every third to fourth night. When you were on call, you may or may not sleep. If you slept, it wasn't for very long. So my schedule was such that I would be on call starting at 7 o'clock. I'd get off overnight. I might sleep, I might not. The next day, I would work until 7 o'clock in the evening, then I would go home, okay? So this one particular day, I went home, and my wife and I, at that time, we had 2 children. The youngest was a pretty fussy baby. Got us up a lot at night. Had to be rocked back to sleep. Ornery little cuss, because he knew that as soon as you tried to put him back, he'd wake up, you know, and you'd have to sit down and rock him some more. This was no small chore to put this child back to sleep. So I came home after that night on call, no sleep, looking for, and my wife says, it's your turn to get up with the baby. I said, what? I said, I was on call last night. I said, got no sleep whatsoever. Ha! She said, I don't care. I was up with the baby last night. Tonight's your night. Well, you know what? I still don't agree with her. But that's the way it was, okay? I was up with that baby all night. The third piece of advice is never sacrifice your ethics. And there will be temptations for that. No matter how much you can make, don't sacrifice your ethics. And I give another anecdote. I was talking to somebody once about a medical test that they were convinced was going to be approved by the United States Preventive Services Task Force. I wasn't so convinced. One of the things I do as a hobbyist, study preventive services and what works and what doesn't. I didn't think this particular thing was that helpful. Well, it turns out that they didn't approve it. And the stock of the company involved dropped 50% as a result of that decision. This investor called me back and he said, wow, you were right. Man, you could have made a fortune if you'd have shorted their stocks. Well, I don't even know what shorting stocks means, but I feel pretty sure that using inside information I might have to short somebody's stocks and make a lot of money is probably, if not illegal, unethical. And I've often said to my wife, wow, you know, the only thing standing between us and extreme wealth is ethics. So keep your ethics and don't sacrifice it. Be humble. Now, you're going to achieve some great things, and I don't want to take away from that. You should be very proud of it. But you're not going to become a deity as a result of that. You're still a person. You still have family, and you need to be somewhat humble about it. And if you don't be humble, they'll make you be humble. And I had an incident with my granddaughter once. She was 4 years old. She was not feeling well. She had a fever and aches and pains and headaches. So as I frequently do with family, I examined her. I said, I've seen a lot of children, same thing. I feel very confident because you're vaccinated. You don't have a serious bacterial risk of serious illness. So I think you're okay. She goes, no, Papa, I need to see a doctor. And I said, well, honey, I am a doctor. And she goes, No, Papa, I want to see a real doctor. And then I would like to echo the advice given previously, which is ask for help. Learn to ask for help. I went through a very serious mental health crisis at some point in my life. I don't want to go into detail about it. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not embarrassed by it. I'm proud of the fact I had enough good sense to ask for help. And that's what you have to do. If you're sitting there saying to yourself, oh, I'm expected to go through this alone, I'm going to guts it out, set that thought aside. And instead, think this. If I were to ask somebody for help, who would it be? Then do that. All right, now, Arthur Ashe was mentioned previously. I can't help whether this is coincidence or not, I'm not sure. But Arthur Ashe, this was the Arthur Ashe Award. Arthur Ashe was an African-American tennis player in the 1960s. He was a great tennis player, one of the best in the world. He was also a gentleman and an intellect. If you ever get a chance to read anything he's written, I would highly recommend it. He also suffered the indignities of the racial prejudice that occurred at that time. Imagine being that great of a player and going to certain places and not being able to stay in them. So Arthur Ashe is somebody I look up to, and one of his sayings is one that I rely on a lot, and it's a simple one. Because somebody asked him how to be great. And I'd like for you as physicians in training to think, how can I achieve excellence? And just substitute those terms. And that's what I'd like to see you strive for. Don't strive for fame and fortune. Strive for excellence. If you achieve excellence, fame and fortune will find you. But he said, to achieve greatness, you got to do three things. Start where you are, use what you've got, and do what you can. That's pretty simple. You stop and think about it, it's pretty darn profound. So as you go through your medical training, think about that. If you think you got something that can't be accomplished, it's just too hard, start where you are, use what you got, and do what you can. And what you've got are tremendous resources at this College of Medicine: faculty, facilities, high technology teaching, on and on. All right, so my final thought has to do with the class, and I concur again with the former speaker about how valuable your classmates are, but I want to put a little different spin on it. When I was asked to give this talk, my first thought that came to my mind was somebody's joking. I mean, I'm not really the right person to come up and give this, but after talking and being assured that I was going to do all right, they said, this is the largest and most diverse class we've ever had. Now, I've spent a lot of my medical career fighting for diversity in medical education. That was what sealed my commitment to come up here and talk to you. This is the most diverse class the college has ever had. This is a gift to you that I hope you'll take advantage of. Humans have a natural tendency to gravitate toward those who look like themselves, think like themselves, and are like themselves. It's a natural human trait. I worked for a country called Papua New Guinea for 2 years. Very, very tribalized country. People live in small units, 700 different languages. Tribe was everything. Everybody outside the tribe was not to be listened to, was to be feared and to be fought. Got back to the United States, and darn, I started seeing the same behavior here. The difference is, here in our country, we don't tribalize based on bloodlines and geography and villages. We tribalize based on religion and politics. But it's tribalization all the same. And it is now very possible, in fact probable, that most of us will go through the next week or two, if not the whole year, and never converse with somebody who thinks differently than we do. Given today's technologies, cable televisions, social medias, we have siloed ourselves within our own special look-alike groups. And I would urge you in your class not to do that. Take advantage of all of your classmates. Get to know all of them. They all have a lot to teach you, not just the ones that look like you. This gift of diversity, it's a small part of the country, but you can make a difference if you get to know the people that right off the bat you're not sure you want to get to know. I've had several experiences like that in my life. Once I did a congressional fellowship and the congressional office, I chose it because it was right after 9/11, 2001. I was interested in bioterrorism and public health preparedness. There was one office in the U.S. Senate where somebody had a vacancy for a fellow, and it was the party opposite of what I had been registered as for the previous 30 years. So I thought about it and I said, okay, what the heck, you know? So this is more important, to actually see what's going on in this field. So I spent the year disagreeing with them on many things, but you know what happened? We got to know each other, we got to like each other, we got to appreciate each other's viewpoints. We actually changed each other's viewpoints a little bit time to time. The other time I did it was when I was in Papua New Guinea for 2 years. My wife struck up a friendship with a wife of a missionary. I would never have dreamed of having somebody as a religious missionary as a friend. But over the years, he and I were forced to interact because our wives were, developing a friendship, and darn if the same thing didn't happen. We got to like each other. I appreciated his viewpoint, he appreciated mine. We still disagreed on a lot of stuff, but you know what? We understood each other, and I appreciated him a lot more after 2 years than I did at the beginning. So what I'm saying is, it's fine to form your clubs with people that have similar interests, but step out, get a little uncomfortable, meet and talk to, have debates with, but debate respectfully, and get to know your classmates, all of them. Because with this diversity, this is a great opportunity to learn about a lot of different people, a lot of different backgrounds. So that's it. That's all I have to say. I welcome the class of 2025, just like all the other faculty are going to do. I challenge you to do great things, strive for excellence, and if you get in trouble, start where you are, use what you've got, and do what you can. Thanks very much.
Dr. Alcock, thank you for these very thoughtful and provocative words. That was really great. And would you accept, as a token of our appreciation, this plaque? Sure. Let's go over here for the photographer. Okay, great. So now it's my pleasure to ask Dr. Fogarty, Associate Dean of Admissions and Recruitment, to join me on the stage for the moment that you all have been waiting for, the presentation of white coats to the class of 2025. 2025, get used to that number. Dr. Fogarty? Okay. You will see a member of our class receive their white coat, as well as the generous and symbolic gifts of the patient history textbook and the stethoscope, which will be over here, that have been generously provided by Dr. Cody Chundu and the District Medical Group. Please note that professional photographers will be taking photographs of each of our students, and we will make them available to all of you on our website free of charge, and you can download them and preserve them for posterity. I would respectfully ask that family and friends stay seated during this ceremony to ensure that everyone can see their loved ones as they come up on stage. However, we do allow cheering. We encourage cheering. And Dr. Fogarty, would you please start this ceremony? So welcome.
So today, it's an exciting day for our students and for us, as they have just finished their first course in this first year, Introduction to Medicine. I have the pleasure of co-directing this block with Dr. Brenda Shinar, and I can tell you in the last few weeks, we have seen a tremendous group of students, and honestly, future physicians. I'm honored to be here this evening to participate in presenting these students with their very first white coat. And for you in the audience, as Dean Reed said, this is for you as much as it is for them. So when you do hear that student come through here on the stage, make sure we hear about you loud and clear. So with that, we'll start our ceremony. You ready? So, verse 20. Do we have music? Oh, wait. We'll try again. There we go. Andrew Acosta. Do your pop. Totally good. Benjamin James Adams. Laura Leonor Aguiar. Tamid Ahmed. I do it or you do it? It's not that easy. Andrea Isabel Alatorre. Next. Thank you. Shannon Juanita Alsobrooks. Amal Wasim Altaf. Brady Lee Anderson. Amy Catherine Arias. Saman Mubashir Asur. Noor Bersharat. Isabel Louise Bauer. Jonathan Lewis Baumstark. Ajay Bezwada. Nikhil Bardwaja. I got it. We'll get there. You guys going back? Bailey Keiko Leonehe Brennan. That was a tough name for me, guys. Alex H. Brown. Lindsay Bronson Buckland. Lyndon Bowie. Taylor Cabral. We're switching, Francisco. Mahesh Chalapali. You guys back? You guys come up. One more. Then you sit, you two separate. You two sit. Nicholas Arthur Chartrand. You guys can sit. You can sit before you sit. Yeah. Priyanka Kamala Tilakuri. Steve, do you want to move over here to be more comfortable? Jennifer Ruth Codd. Frank Cosio. Jason Anthony Cusimano. One more. There we go. Brooke Ashley D'Agostini. Tori DeMore. Ojas Jitendra Deshpande. There we go. Lauren DiMalanta. Sofia del Carmen Fabrega. Nicole Elizabeth Balls. Saul Roberto Favila. Blake Ariel Feldmar. Jessamine Natalie Fernandez. You guys go. I'll try again. There. Oh, 1, 2. Stop. Yusuf Galel. Pop that collar. You guys do it? Sorry, we're having a little trouble with this. I'm going to try again. There you go. Brandon Emmerich Garcia. You guys do it. There you go. Milese Graciela Jalis Galas. Tara Jasmine Gallambor. Michelle Nicole Goforth. Rose Graff. Natalie Grace Gray. Adina Rebecca Green. You? Okay. Dexter Lockwood Gulick. Rachna Guntu. Mohammed Haimi. Jordan Henderson. Erin Elizabeth Howard. Steve, you want to help Quinn? Quinn Bottom Johnson. Peter Jones. Dominic Lewis Julian. Emma Marie Carr. Alexander Amir Caspi. You could do it. Haley Alexandra Kenner. Rebecca Ann King. Good job, Rebecca. Brandon Tyler Clore. Gina Curdy. Julia Ava Laskus. Chapke Kendra Lau. Christian John Lieber. Caitlin Lee. Steve? Jennifer Lee. Anush Rita Makarian. Jessica Lillian Matthias. That was loud. Alexander Ian Miraz. Good job, my friend. Four more years. Dallin Stewart Merrill. Asahi Murata. Amanda Mushoshi. Weston Robert Myers. Natalie Lana Nabati. Great shoes. Lisa Monique Nigerian. Easton Neitzel. Christy Naoma Nanyelu. Chikadinaka Teresa Ohaya. Tracy Michelle Okonya. Mylan Barton Oxspring. Melissa Christine Papuk. Mark Parsons. There it is. Ekta Patel. Paulo Gabriel Pena. You might want to do this one. Joshua Alexander Perez. Nice job, my friend. Eric James Pinkston. Nice shoes. Caden Brandon Porter. Narya Shama Karzi. Priya Ramaya. Rachel Reichenbach. Jillian Michelle Reynoso. Nice job, my friend. Robert Rezvani. Teresa Marie Riley. Rachel Russell. Oscar Salinas. Danny Santana. Nicholas Ryan Schultz. Rachel Lauren Schurz. Kendall Michelle Schwartz. William Sevi. Got some love out there. Jacob Moss Shaner. Austin Michael Sherwood. Gurkaran Singh. It's there somewhere. Jack Michael Stearns. Paige Harumi Stephan. Jake Gregory Stenzel. Jordan Michaela Stupka. Christian Andrew Sulet. Lak Min Tao. Fatima Tal. Nice job, my friend. Stephen Andrew Taylor. Joshua Simon Tice. Brandon David Timmerman. Garrett Trang. Lauren Nicole Traeger. Vivi Trong. Jamie Michael Vieira. Kevin Vo. Joshua Aaron Willis. Connor Randolph Wilson. You got more than 3 tickets. Done. Corinne Patricia Winston. Yuxuan Wu. Pop it now. Jenny Stia. And Nicholas Mark Zelmer. Adolfo, you're going to do the oath, right? All right, everybody, let's give these students one more round of applause.
Since the inaugural oath of our first class, each class has composed their own oath to signify the journey ahead and their commitment to the journey ahead. The class of 2025 has spent the last several days crafting their collective vision and mission into a statement of commitments that they will make as physicians and leaders to the community that you will serve. Consistent with this cherished tradition, students, please rise and share the oath that you have written for the class of 2025. Let's start together. We, the University of Arizona, Thank you. On behalf of the college and everyone here, I want to thank you for sharing these words of your class oath from your heart. This oath will be repeated at your graduation 4 short years from now, and I am confident that it will have an even richer meaning as a result of your experience. Students, I want you to know that the College of Medicine Phoenix family, the city of Phoenix, and the communities that we serve all are eager to get to know you and to assist you in your educational journey, because you are the future of our profession. You are the future of our health. Before we depart for the evening and continue our celebrations, I'd like to ask all of us to give this class one more round of applause. Okay, thank you all. I also want to sincerely thank Dr. Douglas Campos Ocol, Dr. Chris Gettle, for contributing so eloquently to our ceremony. Thank you also to the admissions and recruitment team, the marketing team, the communications team, media productions team, among many others who have made individual contributions to create this memorable occasion. A few housekeeping matters. We ask that you remain in your seats until the students and faculty have recessed. You may meet your loved ones in the lobby or outdoors. I'm not sure you want to go outdoors, but you may meet them soon. In a few minutes, there will be a light reception and photographers will be available. The professional photos that have been taken throughout this ceremony will be provided on the college's website, as noted in the program. Again, congratulations to the class of 2025.